Precision Hydration, we work with athletes to personalise their hydration strategies. So everyone loses a different amount of sodium in their sweat, so something that a lot of people don't know. Your hydration needs can be very different to the person next to you on the start line or on the basketball court. So we help people understand those needs, and we have a multi-strength range of electrolyte drinks that we then match to you based on how you sweat.
I know you're doing a lot of work with segmentation and custom tags.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how you've decided to analyze the data that you have and how to message to customers?
We have people do a free online sweat test on our site, or there's a paid test that you can go and do at one of our test centres where we actually find out how much sodium is in your sweat. And off the back of that, we take a load of information about how you sweat, how many hours you're training. All that information is put into Klaviyo on your profile as custom tags. So particularly when our customer service guys are answering an email from you, instead of asking you a million questions that we already know the answers to, they're going in and looking at those custom tags to know as much about the customer as possible for customer service. We also use those custom tags to personalise all of our emails. So you get a couple of emails off the back of a sweat test that break down your hydration strategy. And those are all driven through custom tags. So if somebody cramps, they'll see, we use the dynamic conditional formatting in the emails to show certain blocks of text or images. So if you cramp, you'll see copy that you won't if you don't. If our email templates are huge, they'll have tons and tons of blocks, and you'll only see obviously the blocks that are relevant to you based on how you sweat. So that's a big part of what drives a lot of conversion. When we launched those flows on Klaviyo, we saw a huge increase in conversion because you're sending people relevant stuff to them. Obviously, that's going to be a lot more effective than being more generic, like, to be honest, a lot of other sports drinks businesses are.
The sweat test that you have, how did you think about building out that information?
So the online test came later. The original test is a patented medical test that's actually used in a lot of hospitals all around the world to diagnose cystic fibrosis. We've got exclusive rights to that, to apply that in sport. We did a lot of research early on. The questions that are in our online test now, we asked in the physical test. And we did some work with some researchers at Sheffield Hallam University. They found a very strong correlation between how you perceive your sweat and reality. So people who are salty sweaters tend to know they're salty sweaters. They see the white marks on their kit. Heavy sweaters go, oh yeah. People walk up to you and say, oh, I'm a heavy sweater. I sweat buckets under my treadmill or whatever. So there's a strong correlation between that and reality. And so we developed this algorithm because not everyone can get to a test centre. So we've got test centres dotted around the UK and the US and around the world. But some people are multiple hours away from a test centre. It's not convenient. Some people don't want to pay for a test initially. So the free online test is an algorithm-based test that we developed off the back of all that data from those tests. The first version of that went live on our original website. There wasn't a lot of thought that went into the e-commerce conversion side of things with our original website. In late 2015, we launched a new site on Shopify, and that's when we launched Klaviyo. And the initial version, we've iterated on that multiple times in the last 3-4 years, looking at drop-off rates at different points in the test. The questions have remained largely the same because there's a scientific basis to those with the algorithm. The results and what we show and how we present that information has changed quite a bit over time, and that's all just been through looking at how people use it, both quantitatively and qualitatively as well, asking people how they use the test. We have events we go to where we have an iPad with the online test that we'll do with the athlete, and just by seeing how people react to that, we've iterated on it as well. So there's a lot of analysis that's gone into optimising that experience, because it is the main experience on our website. About 50% of people who come to the site will do that test, or at least start it. Most people who buy our products will have done at least the online test to give them an idea of what strength to drink. It's a really important user experience for us.
What's next for your marketing strategy? You've got a lot going on already. What in the next 12 months or so are you excited to test out or improve on?
Content marketing is always going to be a big part of our strategy. It's 50–60% of our traffic. I think it'll always be, probably the majority of our traffic. But we definitely want to expand beyond that as we grow. We've tried Facebook ads and Google ads as what you would think would be a nice scalable route to growth. Those things haven't worked out for us. I've had success with those in other businesses, so I think it is more just that they're not quite right for our messaging, the way we get that across. So we're doing a lot more now, as I said, in outreach, but also trying to get on podcasts. Podcasts is a real sort of golden nugget that we've uncovered in the last couple of years. I had our founder Andy on podcasts quite a few times, and we're still seeing traffic from his guest appearances on podcasts years ago because, again, it's content, it's in search.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me today, digging into your marketing strategy and just kind of sharing where you're headed next with your marketing at Precision Hydration.
Thanks for having me. Been fun.